Austrian stocks in English. Listen, this the whole thing on.
Yeah, welcome to Austrian Stocks in English, presented by Palfinger, the English-spoken weekly summary for the Austrian stock market, positioned every Sunday in the mostly German-language podcast Audio CD in die Podcasts Wiener Börse, Sport, Musik und mehr, which reached number one position in Apple podcast charts for Austria this week. My name is Christian, I'm the host of this podcast, and I will be later on joined by the absolutely smart Alison. The following script is based on our 21st Austria Weekly, and in week 12, ATX TR turned into negative area when it comes to year-to-date performance. This week's loss of 3.2% is also the new year-to-date status. BAWAG, Raiffeisen and AT&S performed worst this week, while Andritz could set new all-time highs. News came from S-Immo, Andritz, Pira Mobility, CA-Immo, Semperit, Voestalpine, Strabag, and newcomer Austriacard. And these news are spoken now by the absolutely smart.
Thank you, Christian, for calling me absolutely smart. And these were the news of week 12. Monday, S-Immo, real estate company S-Immo announced further progress regarding its ongoing sales program for residential and commercial properties in Germany. The company has signed an agreement for the sale of 41 properties in Berlin consisting of roughly 1,300 residential and commercial units with over 100,000 meters to the power of 2 of rental area. In September 2022, S-Immo so far has signed sales contracts in Germany for 152 properties with a total volume of around 570 million euros. S-Immo continues to deliver on our plan to sell lower-yielding assets in Germany and reinvest in higher-yielding office assets in the C region, said Herwig Teufelsdorfer, member of the management board. In this process, we benefit from the high quality of our assets, which continue to attract a diverse range of buyers. German assets currently under consideration for disposal by S-Immo exceed 500 million euros. S-Immo, weekly performance, minus 1.52%. Andritz, international technology group. Andritz has introduced a new type of drying hood with electric heating that helps tissue machine operators replace fossil fuel, thus avoiding carbon emissions and progressing towards their sustainability goals. In addition, the system offers increases in energy efficiency and production rates compared to conventional fossil-fueled systems. An order was already placed. Startup will be by the end of this year. We developed the new hood in close cooperation with customers. It perfectly matches today's need for sustainable and especially CO2-reduced high-quality tissue production. Having received the first order right after the market launch is the best proof that we are meeting our customers' needs, says George Nowakowski, Vice President Tissue Drying, Andritz Canada. Andritz, weekly performance, 5.30%. Tuesday, Pira Mobility. The supervisory board intends to increase the number of members of the executive board of the company in the future and to appoint several current members of the executive board of KTM AG also at the level of Pira Mobility AG. Alex Pirer, Florian Kecht, Florian Bergut and Rudolf Wiesbeck shall be appointed as new members of the executive board of Pira Mobility AG. In line with the long-term strategic orientation of the company, the supervisory board has prematurely extended the executive board mandate of CEO Stefan Pirer, which was supposed to end on December 31, 2023, until the end of 2025, and the mandates of Victor Sigel and Hubert Trunkenpals until the end of 2027. Further, Friedrich Reutner, CFO of the company, has announced his intention to resign from the executive board with effect from the end of the 26th annual general meeting. He is to be succeeded as CFO by Victor Sigel, who is already a member of the company's executive board. Friedrich Reutner will stand for election to the supervisory board at the 26th annual general meeting. Pira Mobility, weekly performance, 0.89%. CA-Immo, the supervisory board of real estate company CA-Immo and the chairwoman of the management board, Sylvia Schmitten-Walgenbach, have mutually agreed that Mrs. Sylvia Schmitten-Walgenbach's contract will be terminated as of March 31, 2023. The reason for the termination of the contract by mutual agreement is different views on the priorities in the implementation of the company's corporate strategy. Mrs. Schmitten-Walgenbach's task will be assumed by the two other management board members of CA-Immo, Keegan Vicious and Andreas Schillhofer. CA-Immo, weekly performance, minus 7.68%. Wednesday, Semperit, In 2022, the Semperit Group recorded an increase in revenue and results in its continued operations, particularly in the industrial sector. Despite a challenging market environment and a visible economic slowdown, the revenue increase of 32.0% to €734.0 million in the industrial sector was thus largely responsible for the revenue growth of 29.6% to €779.8 million in the entire continued operations of the Semperit Group. Revenue from continued operations in the medical sector, Wimpassing and Sopron, remained virtually unchanged at €45.8 million. EBITDA grew by plus 8.62% from €54.0 million in the previous year to €100.5 million in the 2022 financial year. CEO Karl Haider comments on the past financial year. 2022 was a very important year for Semperit. We managed to generate significant revenue growth in a volatile business environment. With the sale of the medical segment, we create the opportunity to grow faster and profitably in the industrial business. This means that the 2022 financial year is the kickoff for a corporate strategy focused purely on industrial elastomer applications for the 2023 financial year. The management of the Semperit Group expects a decline in earnings from continued operations. Semperit, weekly performance, minus 3.73%. Andritz, international technology group. Andritz has acquired Imagine That Inc. IDI, a California, USA-based simulation software company. IDI's extensive line of multi-purpose, dynamic modeling and analysis products complements the Andritz Metris digital solution portfolio and differentiates Andritz's approach towards life cycle modeling and autonomous operations significantly. We are excited to empower our existing ideas-based operational readiness solutions with the well-recognized extensive discrete event, discrete rate, and reliability modeling capabilities. With the acquisition, our customers now have an integrated platform for diverse simulation-based engineering applications, says Heinz Sautischer, Chief Automation Officer, Andritz Group. Further, the company announced that it has received an order from Tetra Pak Southeast Asia Pte Limited, Singapore, to deliver a new system for recycling of used beverage cartons, UBC. It will be installed in a board production mill of Dong Tien Binh Duong Paper Company, Limited, located in Bang Cat Town, Binh Duong Province, Vietnam. Startup is scheduled for mid of 2023. Andritz, weekly performance, 5.30%. Voestalpine, Austrian-based steel group. Voestalpine is investing around €1.5 billion in two electric arc furnaces, one in Linz and one in Donawitz. As part of its green textile plan, the plant and supplier decision will be made in 2023, construction will start in 2024, and commissioning of the two units will take place in 2027. This will allow the group to reduce its CO2 emissions by up to 30% from 2027. The exact start of implementation depends on clarifying unresolved funding issues in Austria. The two electric arc furnaces allow Voestalpine to produce around 2.5 million tons of CO2 reduced steel from 2027, 1.6 million tons in Linz and 850,000 tons in Donawitz. From 2030, Voestalpine plans to replace another blast furnace at each of the sites in Linz and Donawitz. Financing for the preparatory work is already covered by the approved investment sum, but the core units are still subject to approval. Voestalpine, weekly performance, minus 4.25%. Thursday. Strabag, Austria's largest construction company, and Avril Cargo Group, Europe's leading rail logistics provider, are pooling their resources to provide housing for people affected by February's earthquakes in Adıyaman province of southeastern Turkey. 1 month later, the situation in the region remains extremely critical. After the quakes, Adıyaman is now also affected by the heavy rains and floods of the last days. Several million people are in urgent need of housing, food, medicine and hygiene products. One of the biggest challenges is getting the supplies to where they are needed. Strabag, weekly performance, minus 2.66%. CAMO, Austrian-based real estate company CAMO held its ground in a challenging market environment in the 2022 business year. Rental income increased by 6.3% to €213.80 meters. Recurring earnings, FFOI, of €125.30 meters exceeded the annual target of €125 meters. Recent portfolio additions, rent indexations and higher portfolio occupancy more than offset the effects of portfolio disposals. At 75 euros and 50 cents meters, consolidated net income was 84% below the record figure of the previous year and was burdened, among other things, by the negative revaluation result, euros 94.1 meters after 537 euros and 40 cents meters in 2021. Based on this positive operating result, CAMO will put a dividend distribution of €1 per share to the vote at the annual general meeting to be held on May 4, 2023. CAMO, weekly performance, minus 7.68%. Friday Austria Kurd Holdings, one of the leading B2B providers of secure data, smart cards and payment solutions in Austria, Scandinavia, Central and Eastern Europe and Southeastern Europe, increased revenues by 76.9% to €314.7 million compared to 2021. According to the company, the main drivers of this revenue increase are attributed to the strong growth of payment products and solutions, the provision of security printing forms and ballots for the elections in Kenya, and the first-time consolidation of Tag Systems UK, formerly Nitacrest Limited and Tag Nitacrest Limited. From regional perspective, this increase is due to good business development in the core markets in Europe and Turkey as well as to our expansion in the US market. Gross profit increased by 73.6% to €140.1 million in 2022 as a result of the strong increase in revenues. CEO, Panayotis Spiripalis noted, "We are growing further our market shares in payment and banking solutions in the Nordics and within challenger banks, while also expanding in new geographical areas such as the US, Middle East and Africa. We aim to be the secure data solutions provider of choice to our clients. At the same time, in the information technology segment we are enhancing our digital transformation portfolio. During 2022 the decision was taken to merge Inform Lycus Holding SA with Austria Kurd Holding AGM to apply for listing on the Vienna and Athens Stock Exchange. This process has been completed on 23rd of March with the commencement of trading of the company's shares on the Athens, ATX, and Vienna, VSE, stock exchanges. And now bye-bye from Alison.
And Christian, we wish you a great week. Hear you next Sunday.
Austrian stocks in English. Austrian stocks in English. Listen, this whole thing on. Austrian stocks in English. Listen, this whole thing on. Listen, this whole thing on.